Do you have a great idea for a startup? You probably do. All of us do or have at some point. Especially with the way the world is changing right now, all of us kind of need to know who to go to or what to do in order for our startups to go to the next level, which is why I want to tell you about our great sponsor for this video, Fresh Start Ventures. Fresh Start Ventures started off as a blog or just a place where startups can kind of share their stories or their vision, and now serves as a VC connector, which is a venture capitalist connector and a mentoring platform. Meaning, if you need guidance and money for you to go ahead and start your startup, Fresh Start Ventures is the place to go. Fresh Start Ventures is also currently aligned with the Pakistan e-commerce consortium, meaning in the ever-changing technological world that we live in, these guys are the perfect guys to go to get your advice on your startup. Fresh Start Ventures plans to bring a unique form of investment for idea stage and MVP startups that includes a hands-on approach and impact-based business development. Fresh Start is the place to go if you have an idea and you don't know what to do with it. Check the link below, go to Fresh Start Ventures and give your idea a fresh start. Let's get on with the video. Bro, I just want to say, tu bahut bada model hai. That was my point. That's a bit of an inside joke between us. But bro, thank you so much for coming on. I really wanted to have you on for a very long time. For those of you who don't know, we're best friends in real life. So this kind of, we're trying to tone down everything. But bro, first, most important question I have to ask everybody. Ye to hona tha. First, most important question I have to ask everybody is, how are you feeling?
Great. Let's go.
How's it going? How's it been since the last? I know we have to talk about this from start to finish, and we will. But right now, currently, where you are, what you're doing, your everyday, your little things on the side as well that keep coming up here and there. Just life in general, as you know it, as you perceive it. How's that going?
Life is fun, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gym. I'm modeling here and there. I'm trying to take up my acting career a little bit also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually, you know this, but we're getting ready for a new project next week that's starting. So it's going to be my third acting gig. I know none of my acting gigs are released yet, but yeah, it's going to be my third one. Hopefully the first one releases very soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, life's good.
I want to start with the first thing you talked about, because the last time you were here, a lot of people remember you as the guy who gave them like very, very important tips on just how to perceive not just fitness or lifting weights or being an athlete, not just generally taking care of your own body. I know that's still a very important thing to you, but how's that? I won't even say goal, but has your perception towards all of that altered in the last couple
Not
months?
at all. I don't think so. Not at all. I mean, my perception towards how I want to maintain my body has changed because of my career as like my part-time career as a model and trying to be an actor. So there are certain things that in my line of work now that I have to take care of. I have to be a certain weight, I have to look a certain way.
Interesting.
So for that, my physical appearance goals have changed. But apart from that, it's still the same. Still trying to be as healthy as possible.
Yeah, and still trying to motivate people to do the same.
Yeah, it's just a different way now because so the last time I was here, all of my content was fitness based and also like cooking based because that's been one of my passions.
It's related, yeah,
forever
in a way.
But now, modeling and acting has become a big part of it also. My following has grown since the last time I was here. So the last time I was here, I was people would refer to me as Zarrar Khan Fitness.
Yeah.
And as we know, I have changed that username.
Zarrar Khan.
A few people felt Zarrar Khan.
I like the but yeah.
A few people felt kind of betrayed.
Yeah.
Because that's
I just want to address that first.
That's the person that they followed. But I still put up fitness content. Maybe not as much with posts anymore, but I'm still in the gym trying to put up content. I actually put up a lot of motivational stories now. It's just me doing what I do with like motivational speeches in the background because that's something that I've grown up listening to. I've used that as fuel for myself, for my workouts, for you know, any goals that I try to pursue in life, I just try to keep listening to other people's stories, other people talk, and that just gives me, you know, the drive to keep pushing.
I just think as a nation we don't have an emphasis on fitness. I think हमें कभी at least nutrition या वो समझाया जाता है कि मतलब ये आपका food pyramid है. You know, this is important stuff that you need to know, whatever. But you, as you grow up more and more, there's I would think less of an emphasis as the older you get on. And I was a victim of this circumstance myself. I think we all know this. Like I was very heavy, and not just heavy in like you know, just heavy. It's like I was unhealthy. I was to the point where I was slow, and I was in denial as well about it, because all my life I've just been told it's not what I, you know, it's up here what matters, at least in brown families and being raised like beta. Exactly. I was that guy. I didn't care about. But then when you realize it's all interconnected, what you do and what you do in a day really depends on what you do otherwise as well with your body. Like it's not just you doing stuff. You have to take care of. You gotta keep oiling the machine, essentially. I like that you still put out that message and those videos.
I think it's influences also that you see around yourself. So, for example, I've seen my dad been a runner all his life. All his life. वो असर से मगरिब तक बस jogging करते हैं. उनकी वो routine है, आप उनको तंग ही नहीं कर सकते उस time पे. So I think seeing that around me my entire life, then also having friends who were always trying to stay healthy. This guy right here,
Salman Bhatt in the house,
you
by
know,
the way.
Friends like this who have always been with me. We discuss things, you know, about our body and how we're keeping ourselves healthy. So, and the kind of things that you follow on social media also, that has a big impact on you. So a lot of the pages or the Insta celebrities that I follow have something to do with either fitness or food, because those are two of my passions. So I think the influences that you have around you will always influence you. And since you had us around you.
Yeah, I was about to say, this was my influence. Exactly, literally.
I saw the change in you where you used to observe us and things we talked about. And because you're into sports and combat sports yourself, so you see the athletes that you follow and admire at the same time. So.
No, but for me, it wasn't even because I knew, even though I follow combat sports and everything, my time actually physically engaging in combat is going to be very little. My time, I knew I was going to be a behind a desk kind of guy, but it was literally this guy who put me to work, Salman Bar, and then you, who I would look at literally for almost every day at a point. And I would just be like, man, these guys are doing something. And most importantly, like they really look like they feel good. Like I don't know how you guys felt inside, but like they look like they feel good about themselves every day. I don't. You know what I mean? I was like, I gotta change that. And thank you guys. Like it and I'm like a guy who's close proximity. It's crazy to think that there are guys on your phone or girls on your phone who look at you and say, I gotta change. You know how I asked you this last time as well. अब तो यार spectrum बहुत बदल गया यार. Like personal training and being a fitness trainer and all. Like I wanted to start with that to do it justice. Like put it to rest. Like put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, and tack goodbye Zarrar Khan. But I really want to ask you the spectrum. Where like. So right now, like you said, you're in a lot of projects. They're still not released. We'll talk about all of them. Don't worry. Right? We'll talk about all of them. Stay tuned. But for you as a person, because this is very fascinating to me. I'm not somebody I don't think I have an influence over anybody. I would like to think so. But as a person who you've changed lives in terms of people changing their, you know, physical appearance and their fitness, the spectrum must have broadened so much. People look up to you now. People look at you now to know like what they should think about things. There's a lot of added responsibility. What's it been like with this new spectrum, my friend?
It's pressure. But it's pressure that I've always done. Oh, my bad.
You're good. Don't worry.
Okay,
that's fine.
So it's pressure, but it's pressure that I've always aspired to have. So when I was growing up, I've always wanted to have, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's a need for attention, but I'll be honest.
Yeah, no,
you know, when I changed my Instagram profile from being a private account to a public account. That's what I was aiming for. Yeah. So it's pressure that I was kind of prepared for. There's a lot of things in between that you're eventually not prepared for. For example, certain things you will say and people will be like, yo, क्या हो गया? तो आपको कुछ चीज़ों पे careful होना पड़ता है. But the pressure, the rewards that it has, especially with my line of work, I don't know what other influencers would feel about that, but because my the things that I do will directly impact either how someone looks or how someone feels about themselves, or the kind of clothes that they wear, which will also impact the kind of way that they feel. Because, you know, if you look good, you feel good, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then occasionally when I put up cooking recipes, and people will actually try my recipe as if I am Gordon Ramsay.
You know? Himself in the flesh.
So, and people will sometimes just DM me and be like, yo, I tried that recipe, it was so good. And I was like, I'd be like, really?
Thank you, but really?
You tried it?
Why?
I'm glad you like it. But
why?
I'm surprised कि तुमने actually try की. So इस तरह के छोटे से ना shock मिलते हैं आपको as your following grows. But it's crazy good. Like it's a good kind of pressure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm glad you thrive in it. But we've all seen people who get that attention, but they really don't want to be like. So I think people, because of how our world works now, like followers are currency, people on social media are automatically a bigger deal than, you know, all of that. With that also comes the fact that there's an added pressure for people to always talk about something like that somebody else might feel really strongly about, or more importantly, something that somebody else might feel comfortable talking about. But people don't realize not everybody wants to talk about dark, depressing, you know, subjects all the time. I just think it would be a lot of pressure to be in your shoes, my friend. That's just all I'm trying to get at. I can't imagine dealing with like how entitled people are now to tell you to say what you're supposed to say. Like, I get it. Like, we all can care about things, but do we all have like that thing where we have to put it out there and talk? I don't think so.
That's the dark side of it.
Yeah, of course.
So you can be pressurized into saying a lot of things, having a political stance or whatever, about certain topics that are going on in the world. But at the same time, I feel like I've dealt with it in a way ke, matlab, people sometimes, the general public will fail to realize that the person that they will target for either not saying something or saying something wrong also has emotions and now also has a personal growth.
Yeah.
और आप अगर expect करो कि, for example, आप किसी influencer को bully करना शुरू हो गए, you're not talking about this topic, they might be dealing with that topic in their own way where they don't feel like posting at all, they don't feel like talking about it. It could impact them extremely negatively for them to not be able to put their emotions into a story or into a post. So I feel like that's something people, if they start to realize that, then it would be nicer for the people who have a following or influencers. I mean, मेरी तो अभी following बहुत छोटी है, honestly. मतलब मैं इतना cool बनने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहा. It's a nice group of people who follow me, who have been with me for a while now, and I feel like they understand me to a great extent. So even if I don't talk about a certain thing, then they would understand that he's dealing with this in his own way. I would like to think that. Right. So it's the kind of following that you had that matters also. But also, I feel like people in this world are so arrogant. Yeah. To the point where they believe that if someone says something that they feel negatively about, the other person is automatically expected not to say it. I feel like that's a level of arrogance that you portray on other people who have a voice. And it's like something that Ricky Gervais said also recently. I saw videos and I was like, I feel the same way. I love Ricky so much. And I mean, you and him both, are right. I mean, there's such a like the word arrogant is correct. The word entitlement fits it as well. I mean, if somebody has a slightly different opinion on something, you can't cast them out and just say, but again, this is the dark side of being a famous person, influencer, whatever. But I haven't gone through it yet. This is just what I've observed for other influencers who have a massive following and they get slated for a lot of times. It's gonna happen. Okay. I'm joking. No, hopefully not. More than hopefully not. Like, even if it does happen, like, I know you for a very long time. Heart of gold, my friend. That's all. That's all that matters. You know this. But beyond that, I mean, again, this is very. I mean, it's interesting stuff to talk about. But I really want to get to the fun stuff now. I want to ask you, like, what it's been like working as a 12th man. The Baarwan Khiladi. The Baarwan Khiladi.
And no, like I don't want you to just like I want you to tell me what the process was like, what it felt like. Take me to the start. How did that come together? How did you end up at a set where there was? We'll talk about other guys as well, but most importantly, it was a Zarrar Khan production, I believe. If that's not correct.
Yep.
Please, sir, take it away.
First of all, I'm not the Baarwan Khiladi.
Oh, sorry.
That's
spoiler.
Someone else. That's someone else.
Is there a spoiler? Is there a spoiler?
No, not really.
Oh, damn it.
People already know who the Baarwan Khiladi is from the
enough.
promos.
Got it. Yeah.
But it was so how it all came together was that I had done a project with Myra before that, and that's where we met each other. And because this was her production, and she was looking for people for different roles, her team got in touch with me, and then I auditioned, and then bam, we're in it. And then I go on set, and the first person I see is Khakan Shahnawaz. जिसको मैं शायद
shout out my friend, shout out
जिसको
Khakan
I think
Shahnawaz.
उसको 3 साल पहले मिला था उससे last.
बहुत आला.
I'd known him from school, and because we had a similar social circle, तो कभी-कभी मुझे नजर आता था, but we weren't like friends तब. And I reach the rehearsals, और सामने खड़ा हुआ है, and I'm like, thank God, because it was a familiar face. I knew someone.
Yeah, I bet.
And हाँ, उसके बाद फिर I met Shavi, I met Tanny there, and all the other cast also, and it was fun, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I was talking to one of these guys the other day, and we were talking about the filming for that, and I was like, यार वो मतलब सेट नहीं था, वो फील नहीं होता था कि हम काम करने आए हैं, because it's a cricket team.
Yeah.
There's 12 खिलाड़ी हैं इस टीम में, और वो सारे बॉयज हैं, और बस सारा टाइम शुगर लग रहा होता है. मतलब हम 4 दोस्त बैठते हैं तो कितना मजा आता है. तो सोचो 12 बॉयज बस सारा टाइम, कोई जिसका सीन है वो अपने सीन के लिए गया हुआ है, बाकी बैठे हुए हैं हम लोग. We would spend like 10-12 hours together every day. Like हम सुबह आते थे 6-7 बजे, और आते हो आप बस सारे मरे हुए इधर उधर देख रहे हैं. And we shot this in like December and Jan.
Yeah.
So it's hella cold.
Oh, I bet.
in a cricket field.
Yeah.
जहाँ पे हम शूट करते थे, तो हम आते सारे चाय मरते हुए नाश्ता कर रहे हैं. So it was good fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like you have acted, and people, I think we did discuss this a little bit in the last podcast, but for those of you who don't know, you did act through school. That was one of the major things you did, but that was, I bet, very different. Those were like, one of them was a Broadway style. Both of them were Broadway plays, I believe,
so
right?
in school, when our annual plays were the both that I was in, where one was a West End show and one was a Broadway show.
Right.
So I was used to that. But then obviously we'd do other plays where we would make our own stories, make our own plays for competitions, and those were usually in Urdu also. So I've done a bunch of acting in school and a couple of years in uni also. And then there was nothing.
Yeah, for big
years,
gap, right? Big gap.
For almost 5-6 years, there was nothing.
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about last time, I was corporate for a while after graduating, and then I got into modeling and fitness, and then I was not corporate.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I get like a call for this, and it's just like, and it's nerve-wracking.
Oh, I bet.
Because when I used to act, I considered myself a decent actor.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing for so long. And you can consider things that you do in modeling to be some acting, or some sort of acting also.
Some level of it,
Yeah, some level of acting. Because obviously campaigns ke liye you act as a character for whatever type of campaign you're doing.
Yeah.
But jab ab main set pe aaya,
yeah,
or it was my first scene, I can't describe. First of all, it was a rush of blood, because there were so many memories of me acting on stage, and now I'm on camera.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, it must be like poles apart in terms of what you have to do.
Yeah. So it was, I don't know, it was probably different for everyone else, but because I took the weight of all of the plays that I'd acted and I brought it into this one, this acting that I was gonna do on camera, and it all just unfolded immediately at my first shot. and I completely forgot how to act. I was like, my first 3 takes were horrible. To the point
My God.
कि खाकान ने मुझे पकड़ा कहता है, bro, relax. It was with Khakan and Chavi.
Veteran advice.
Bro, relax. Easy है. Character के बारे में सोच.
Yeah, dude.
And I told the director I need 2 minutes. It was also very cold. तो मैं ना बस like कांप भी रहा था. So it was like pressure भी है और पहली shot भी हो रही है और ठंड से भी फट रही है. तो मैंने कहा our director was Adnan sir. I was like, sir Adnan, 1 second, मैं जरा थोड़ा सा गर्म होना चाहता हूँ. तो मुझे 2 मिनट दे, मैं आता हूँ. फिर मैं गया साइड पे, मैंने सांस लिया 2 मिनट. Then I came back with just like, I just told myself, bro, you've done this 1,000 times. It's okay.
Yeah.
So this is like an insight to how anyone feels like. If anyone, for anyone who's doing like a corporate job or whatever, before your a presentation, which is like a big presentation for whatever reason, everyone feels pressure with whatever they're doing. Koi speech ho, kisi ki kuch ho.
Intro.
Your intro clearly.
Yeah, वो छोटा लिखा था. Usually बड़ा लिखा.
So like with my line of work, this is the kind of pressure that you can face.
Right. And I think it's incredible that you, so the way you describe it, first 3 takes completely blank, like, just not able to. I think it's pretty incredible that you were able to. I'm sure a lot of people would just say, all right, this ain't for me, man. I've realized, like, put me on a stage in front of a crowd. I know that's like for a lot of people a comfort zone, but a camera is just weird. Like, even with me throughout school, like, it wasn't plays or whatever, but if I would ever play with a band or if whatever, or even give a speech for a debate tournament, I would be in front of a crowd. It's like, yo, this is good. Like, it's real time. They don't remember. They don't have footage of it. But the first day we put this camera, and I was like, not froze, but I suddenly got like a Texan accent, like, how are y'all doing today? I was like, yeah! And everybody's just looking at me like, bro, kya ho gaya tujhe? It's a completely different ball game.
Tu Texas gaya bhi nahi tha yaar.
Tu Georgia gaya. Bro, literally, it's a totally like when an inanimate object is staring at you compared to like 10,000 people, sometimes it just freaks you out more. You can't even explain why.
Yeah.
It just is.
Because you can't see a reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
With people, you see reactions.
Exactly.
So when I would be on stage, I knew how to control the crowd when I was acting.
Yeah.
Ek to everything was pre-planned with your script, but then you can read the crowd. It's like for stand-up comedy, I feel like it would be the same also. You read the crowd and then you work accordingly. For musicians, it's the same.
Yeah.
For musicians, you guys, sorry.
No, it's good.
For musicians, that's the exact situation. So for cameras, there is no emotions.
And then how did it go after the first?
Then I got in the zone.
Zone?
Yeah. Uske baad,
what is the zone?
The zone is your character.
Right.
So
do you just think about like what he would do or what he would look like or what his expressions would be
so
like?
Before every scene, like I feel like जितना भी आपकी उसका बेशक शोर लग रहा हो या जो भी हो, वो the ability to snap back into whatever your character is. For example, for me it was Suhail. Yeah. So they give you a background to what your character is like and what he is or she is. Yeah. But you need to create a backstory for yourself also, just to flip. Because you're going to do one scene like 10 times at least. So to get in the zone, you just have to create a story in which you can just flip and relate to that story for a little bit while you're in that scene. Yeah.
And tell me about Sohail.
Sohail, I don't know how much I can tell you about Sohail.
No, don't give me anything away. But like when you would think of him, when you'd have to like envision yourself, was there somebody? Because I know a lot of people just. I think the guy who wrote Family Guy, ek dafa baat kar raha tha, like I know 100 Peter Griffins, like in my life. Do you relate your characters to people that you?
Yeah, I could. I'm glad that the first character that I got was something that I could actually relate to also, with how I would act.
Yeah.
But then obviously every character has its progression within a story. So there's points where I would be like, oh, this is not something Zarrar would do, but this is something Sohail's doing. So you gotta bring that. And then you find a reference for that also within your life. So कुछ scenes में होता था कि सोहेल एक ऐसी हरकत कर रहा होता था जो मैं किसी अपने दोस्त से या किसी एक इंसान से जिससे मैं मिला हूँ उससे मैं relate करता था. And then I'd be like, oh, this person would, you know, be like this.
Yeah.
And then you can bring that into whatever character you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's a mix.
Can I ask you about Myra's Angels? I mean, the four of you specifically. I want to ask, like, what was like working with these gentlemen? Because I think this is the first time that you interacted with Zarrar Khan. I think your bond with him grew closer, grew stronger. And then the other two, I think you met for the first time, if that's correct.
I'd met Shavir once before. Yeah. But that was just very briefly.
Right.
So we, on a personal level, we all became friends.
Yeah.
On set.
Right. And how was like working with, like, did you feel like those guys are serious about their work or whatever? And on set, like, what was the environment like around those guys? I think you were predominantly around those guys, right? The four of them.
I mean, obviously, puri cast to har waqt saath hi hoti thi. But the four of us became good friends on set, and then, you know, we would hang out apart from that also. We've worked together with different, like, small projects or so these guys vlog, so I've been in their vlogs. I don't vlog personally, but मैं उनके vlogs में भी आ जाता हूँ.
I'm sure.
But it was great working with them because सबका पहला project था, so everyone was in the same boat. Everyone could relate to each other, so it was very helpful. If I was struggling, they would help me out. We literally wrote like lines together for each other, and we would just be like, "हाँ bro, तेरा character, I feel like तेरा character ये कहेगा इस तरीके से कहेगा."
Yeah.
So it was a very positive and very helpful environment on set.
That's good, man. And I was gonna ask you in between, because I know a lot of people will kill me if I don't get this answer out of you. But why don't you start vlogs? What is the update on the Zarrar Khan vlogging character arc? Is that something you think you'll ever consider? Is that something that you ever feel like, you know, you would do? And if not, why? I'm just curious.
So I don't want to completely say no to it.
Right.
Never but if I ever do it, I feel like मैं अपने एक तरीके से करूँगा. I don't want, so because my content has always been very different. Firstly, it was fitness, and then fashion and food also. So I would probably, if I ever do it, then I would do it in my own way, in which I can encompass all of these three things in a vlog, and that's just pretty much it.
Right.
So there's no like lifestyle vlogging for me.
Yeah.
It's just interest-based vlogging for me.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of content mostly that I've followed also.
Yeah.
While growing up, my heroes were people who were involved in one of my interests.
Yeah.
So, you know, people like Gordon Ramsay, or there's this fitness vlogger Moran from Netherlands, who was one of my favorite fitness vloggers growing up.
I think he once replied to you or something, which meant the world. I remember.
Yeah, literally, like I went crazy because I felt like his path in fitness and entrepreneurship was the same as the one that I'm on. He's just a few years ahead of me, and his philosophy about training and how he wanted to take care of his body and how he goes about his lifestyle was, I could relate to it a lot. So I idolized him in my mind, even though maybe I think he's as old as I am.
Yeah.
So, or maybe a year younger also.
Crazy.
So when he reshared my story, that was just like,
let's go, bro.
Kya ho gaya? Kyun kiya?
Yeah. Ever thought you'd work with Myra Khan?
Never. First of all, let me put things straight.
Let's please.
I never thought I'd model also. I never thought I would act on camera.
Yeah.
I thought my showbiz days were over with acting in theater.
Right.
मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था. So here's how the story goes. One of my best friends, Rahmat Ajmal, shout out. She would always tell me कि तुम्हें modeling करनी चाहिए. She is a model. And I would always be like, nah son, ऐसे तो नहीं हो सकता, I'm good. And she'd be like, करो. I was like, fitness यार, मैं वही सिर्फ करना चाहता हूँ.
Right.
And this one time, I think a brand wanted some recommendations for new faces, and she sent my pictures, and she's like, bro, मैंने भेज दी हैं और उनको तुम पसंद आ गए हो.
Deal with it.
तो अब तुम्हें करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि मेरी इज्जत का मामला है. So I was like, shit.
Emotionally blackmailed you into it. I love it.
So yeah, then I did it once. nerve-wracking. My first ever shot was with a model who was like a really like good professional model.
Right.
And मेरी पहली ever shot उसके साथ थी. And I was just like बहुत आला क्योंकि मैं सेट पे पहुंचा, मैंने कहा मेरी किसके साथ शॉट है, उन्होंने कहा इसके साथ. मुझे ऑब्वियसली नहीं पता था, आई वाज नॉट इन द इंडस्ट्री. आई इंस्टाग्राम्ड हर इमीडिएटली और मैंने देखा और आई वाज लाइक मेरी तो ऐस वाली है. मेरी तो अनुष तस्वीरें खींचता है सिर्फ.
Shout out Anush, I love you, yeah.
So that's how it started. First shoot, really nervous, but we got some really good shots.
Outfitters?
Yeah, that was Outfitters.
Shout out Outfitters.
Shout out Outfitters, yeah. Thanks for starting my career. And वो shoot हुआ, वो shoot आया जब I was on the cover. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So that gave me a little push. I worked with them a couple more times. Then other brands started contacting me, and then that's just how it grew. And after like 10 shoots, I got in the groove of it, because पहले 10 shoot तो मैं बस completely fucked होता था.
Right.
मतलब मुझे पता नहीं था कि मैंने खड़े कैसे होना है. But फिर मुझे समझ आ रही थी कि अच्छा अब मैं मतलब ये करना तो है, because clearly लोग कह रहे हैं कर लो.
Right.
तो और like मतलब fit है,
Yeah.
पैसे भी हैं,
And it would be just...
और मुझे वो need for attention जो है ना मेरी वो भी satisfy हो रही थी क्योंकि अच्छी तस्वीरें आ जाती थी.
Exactly.
So what I then did was कि मैंने कुछ 10 मॉडल्स की ना प्रोफाइल्स खोली और फिर मैंने उनको स्टडी करना शुरू किया कि अच्छा ये करते कैसे हैं. अभी तक तो मैं फ्लूक पे चल रहा हूँ ना सिर्फ. So then I started studying them, started studying how they pose, how they act, videos में वो कैसे होते हैं. I was like फिर मैंने शीशे में वो करना स्टार्ट किया, just a practice के you know. मतलब कोई भी चीज़ नेचुरली ऑब्वियसली आप कुछ लोगों में होती है, कुछ लोग नेचुरली पिक्चर्स बहुत ईजिली खिंचवा लेते हैं. मैं थोड़ा ऑकवर्ड इंसान हूँ, स्पेशली व्हेन आई एम मीटिंग न्यू पीपल. आई एम द ऑकवर्डेस्ट पर्सन यू विल एवर मीट. So then I studied them, and then I started applying those things in every shoot. Or aista, like in the past year and a half, we are where we are. And now if I look at the first one,
Yeah.
so I'm like, damn son, ऐसे तो ना मैं करूँ अब.
I'm like, that's, you know, people always like to think like being a model is like a privileged gig. Like this is a very common trope, like वो तो चिकना है, like of course वो model है, like oh of course वो model बन गया है. Like I don't think it's as easy as people make it out to be. And I mean, work is work, you know. Work is, you got to show up. Some people work 8 hours 5 or 6 days a week. Some of us have call times at like 4 or 5 a.m. or sometimes have to model in the heat or have to go through like ridiculous circumstances or environments to like get the right shot. Like I've seen some like models modeling on elephants, like that kind of stuff freaks me out. I'm like, yo, that's my life. Yo, elephant tips me over, I'm dead. You know what I mean? It's but ultimately, do you ever feel like, you know, people do misjudge the profession as something which comes easily to you because you're a handsome man? Handsome man. Sorry.
Okay, uncle.
I was about to say handsome boy. I was like, wait.
Thank you, dear.
The handsome boy. Please proceed, handsome boy.
Definitely. I feel like even तुम लोगों ने कभी कुछ चीज़ें कही हुई हैं
बहुत दफ़ा.
हाँ, जिस पे मुझे था कि तुम लोगों को लगता है ना कि ये बहुत आसान है. So people think it's extremely easy to do, because everyone's like, यार तुम क्या जाके बस तस्वीरें खिंचवा लेते हो और तुम मतलब पैसे कमा लेते हो उसके, ये तो बेस्ट लाइफ है. बट कभी कभी आप ये नहीं देखते कि जो उसके पीछे आपने इतना काम किया होता है. मैं तो because fitness for me was just a part of my life before, so it's been relatively easier for me. For other people who go into this profession and they have to maintain a certain body image, because every profession has its prerequisites.
Yeah.
If you are a model, तो फिर आपको एक certain physique भी रखनी पड़ेगी, आपको अपनी skin का भी ख्याल रखना पड़ेगा, आपको अपने बाल भी सही रखने पड़ेंगे. For example, when I started modeling, I was about to take boxing classes.
Right.
And my mom was like, do you wanna fuck up your face?
Word.
And I was like, oh,
Good point.
because हो तो सकता है,
बहुत होता है.
बहुत easily हो सकता है.
No, eczema
So,
there, but like a lot.
I took my mom's advice, because she was like, अच्छा अपनी तुम जो बाकी करते हो करो, मतलब इतना extra boxing classes लेने की क्या ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि because she was like, I know you're gonna like start sparring with people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work that goes into, one, your fitness, how you take care of yourself, Just if you put everything aside and if you just look at fitness, that's hours of work every day
consistently
that you put into your career. So it gets easier as you keep doing it, obviously, just like any other career. अगर आप marketeer भी हो तो आपके लिए एक marketing plan बनाना like progressively आसान होता रहता है. So yeah, I don't think people look at that, but obviously हर चीज़ की misconceptions तो होती हैं.
Right. And I might be putting you in a little bit of trouble by asking this question. Feel free to not answer it. But I'm very curious, like as somebody who's been on the inside of the industry now, what kind of a look are you demanded of? And I mean, like, what do brands tell you, like, maybe if you were like 10 pounds heavier, lighter, and do you think there's a problem with people like kind of demanding you to look a certain way? Because I know a lot of people are up in arms against like fashion industries worldwide, saying that and especially with like female models, where they're like and I think in certain situations it is very extreme and very bad, where you're expected to be a size 0 as opposed to be a size 2 in some cases. I'm not preaching body positivity here, although I think like that's not the worst thing in the world. But do you think there's like pressure on you to look a certain way? Does that bother you? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you feel like it's an unfair expectation, or is it like part of the job?
So there's two facets to it.
Yeah.
One where it is part of the job. Someone is going to be paying you a lot of money to portray their clothes and their brand in a certain way, and if that's the kind of look that they want, then that's the kind of look that they want.
Right.
But if they start going too far with it, where people, so you can often work with the same people again and again and again and again, and again if they like you, or certain photographers or certain makeup artists. Muas.
I like to call them moi.
I just told them, okay, a year. This is the most embarrassing thing ever. I started modeling. And after a year, I found out कि MUA जो लिखा होता है लोगों की पोस्ट में, जिस लोगों ने अपने MUAs को टैग किया होता है, वो मेकअप आर्टिस्ट होते हैं. My dumb ass. I would literally read this word once a day.
Every day.
Somewhere through Instagram. And I'd just be like, मुआ, पता नहीं ये क्या होता है.
ये किसको चुमिया दे रहे हैं? मुआ at Anush Zirak.
And this one day I was like, यार, I keep seeing this. What does it mean?
I must press on one of these profiles.
और ये सिर्फ इस मेरी इंडस्ट्री में लोग कहते हैं. मतलब ये क्या लफ्ज है जिसमें मतलब एक इनसाइड जोक है जिसका मुझे नहीं पता. क्या है ये?
बहुत बड़ा जोक है.
और मैं सोच रहा हूँ and like immediately बस वो क्लिक हुआ. I was like, oh, MUA makeup artist. क्योंकि उस दिन मैंने उसको पहली दफा कैपिटल्स में देखा था. वो जब लोअर केस में लिखा होता था तो मैं उसको मुआ ही देखता था. और जब वो MUA था तो I was like, oh, makeup artist. Ya dumbass.
Shout out to all the makeup artists on his payroll.
Thanks for making us look good.
Always, yeah.
Yeah, so where was I? So sometimes it goes too far, and that's just based on individuals who were hypercritical of models. So sometimes I've heard of people like my colleagues being like, मुझे इसने कहा या उसने कहा कि बहुत मोटी लग रही हो, ये मोटे लग रहे हो. So that's where you cross the line. But I feel like if there is a standard that you have to keep up, because of a line of work that you're in, then that's just bodybuilders will have to look a certain way.
Yeah, true.
True. Fighters have to be a certain way.
Yeah.
To perform at the level that they perform. So if you're in this industry, then you have to take care of your body to a certain point. So I personally, I don't know, maybe other people within this industry or other models or other people that watch us might feel a different way. And I feel like body positivity is a great thing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't shame people on how they look if that's how they want to look.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you cross a line, that's not great. मेरे साथ personally कभी ज़्यादा इस तरह का ख़ास कुछ नहीं हुआ. मैंने एक दफ़ा bulk up किया था काफ़ी उसमें लॉकडाउन कोविड लॉकडाउन के टाइम पे, and I had gained a bunch of weight, and then when I went to work later on, सो मुझे खुद ही पता चल गया था क्योंकि कपड़े मेरे पे फंसे हुए थे, वो बिल्कुल भी अच्छा शूट नहीं हुआ था. So these are things that you realize yourself also. But I feel like इतना bad scene नहीं है. People are nice to you generally within this industry.
Yeah.
From my experience at least.
Right. Also from your experiences, are brands generally hard to work with?
Depends.
On what?
Some maybe, some aren't. Some brands wouldn't be very great with when they pay you.
Mm-hmm.
Some are extremely nice. I did a shoot yesterday for Hira Ali. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
Like we became friends on shoot. और इस तरह के बहुत ज़्यादा शूट होते हैं जिस पे just like this was fun.
Yeah.
बहुत कभी कभी होता है कि आप शूट पे कहते हो कि यार you know this isn't fun. उसके अलावा I feel like as the industry has grown, I don't know पहले कैसे होता था.
Yeah.
But people are becoming more professional about things
Yeah.
day by day. So I feel like I've gotten into it at a decent time where it's pretty professional.
Right.
And things आपको कोई बुद्धू नहीं लगाता. मेरे साथ तो नहीं अभी तक हुआ. Basically.
I think also like वो जब initially बात कर रहे थे of how you know like generally the fame and everything, I feel as if with times and how they're changing, especially with how much power social media holds, I feel as if brands should be concerned about mistreating anyone, let alone models with thousands and thousands of followers. I think it's the most Pakistani thing in the world to have like you know late payments and shit like that or stuff like that, pardon me. Like people don't get paid on time in Pakistan. That's just like one of those things that happens, unfortunately. But ultimately I feel as if, and you're right, the more a company goes or the more an industry grows professional, you know, the more we see like fashion and all of that, and even just our local brands when it comes to, you know, the clothes they make and everything. Once the ecosystem inside an industry grows, it automatically becomes professional. But I feel as if when one entity grows beyond a point where it outgrows everyone else, that's when it really puts everyone at fault or everyone at risk of being exploited and stuff like that. And we can't afford that with anybody. I hope like that there's no malpractices when it comes to, you know, people on set other than models in terms of them being mistreated, because I don't know why. I don't know if it's a Pakistan thing. I don't know what it is, but people really get off at demeaning people here. I don't understand. Like maybe I'm just like ranting off of a personal experience recently, but why do people have to be such, pardon my French, dicks? You know what I mean? To other people, mostly based on the fact that they have a different social class or don't have the same life opportunities. But this just happens, and it would break my heart to know like if a thriving industry like our fashion industry like mistreats people, like people on set or people who are just working there trying to make a living, you know, stuff like that.
I think people are educated and aware enough कि अगर उनके इर्द गिर्द ऐसी चीज़ें होना शुरू होती भी हैं,
yeah,
so they point it
Call
out
it
to
out.
whoever is doing it. So it's not something that I've experienced personally or like seen a lot within any of the industries that I've worked in. Thank God. वरना थोड़ा मसला हो सकता था. But हाँ, इतना बुरा सीन नहीं. And I feel like it's not just Pakistani people.
Yeah.
It's people in general that are dicks.
Yeah.
So you will encounter these kind of
yeah.
people who will get off of
yeah.
demeaning people around them because people can be bullies.
Yeah.
And I mean, we encounter bullies all the time in the gym or wherever. I've encountered bullies within fitness, within fashion also. You just gotta take care of them.
Yeah, pop a bully. pop. Put an M right on your head.
You a Mirza brother.
Very nice. Actually, nice segue. What have you been listening to these days? People will kill me if I don't ask you.
Recently, J. Cole.
That's it.
पिछले एक महीने से dude मैं उसकी एल्बम at least 50 दफा सुन चुका हूँ.
At least.
Every day in the gym, I listen to the entire album back to front once.
Wow.
Once.
You have a long workout, I know that.
Yeah. वो खत्म भी नहीं होता.
और वो album बस चलती रहती है. यार, I really like that album. I know you're a John Mayer guy. Always have been. I think he's releasing a new album, if I'm not right.
July 16th, ladies and gentlemen, Saw Brock releasing worldwide.
Saw Brock वैसे बड़ा अच्छा नाम है for
John Mayer has a way with words,
I swear.
and more so he has a way with vibes.
Bro, Sob
is a
Rock
vibe.
sums him up.
Yep.
I've never been able to
That's it.
understand what John Mayer does. It's Sob Rock.
It's all bro.
Also, Vettel jeet raha hai season.
Yeah, bro.
For those of you who don't know, big F1 fan.
Major F1 fan.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this guy into it. Also.
You're
पिछले
succeeding.
2-3 हफ्ते से मैं इसको साथ-साथ races दिखाता शुरू
Memes
कर दिया
भेजता
है.
रहता Don't think I don't notice.
Unsolicited pieces of information. F1 news मैं बस इस बंदे को ना forward करता रहता हूँ. ये भी बस like. I'm like ठीक है भाई चल रहा है.
कभी-कभी
Boy
वो
को पता है.
Heart eyes वाला
अगली
भी
रेस
आएगा।
भी तो देखनी होती है ना.
Bro, हाँ.
मुझे
कब है भाई?
कल परसों.
ओ परसों.
Yeah.
See you.
Let's fucking go.
Podcast के परसों नहीं बाद में रिलीज हो गया. Don't worry about it. But yeah, bro, throughout knowing you and all this time that we have spent together and everything, I know you're a very ambitious person. Like I know you're one of those guys who's really, really pushing the envelope in your own life in whatever way that you possibly can. You've told me here already, like the way you researched modeling, incredible. I know that's probably how everyone does it, but to me that's fascinating. I really did think for a very long time that was just one of those things either you know or you don't, or even at best you figure out yourself. I didn't think that was something you read. Then there's the whole acting thing. You have a preface to that, but to materialize it, I think that's incredible. Everything essentially that you've done so far has been something that has come up with a consequence of effort, consistency. I feel like this is something that extends over to your time as somebody who is doing fitness as just like what he wants to do his whole life, but it extends over now to everything else that you do as well. Fitness, consistency, hard work, just pushing the envelope every single day. And I see you do it. Like I see you do it. For those of you fans of his wondering what he's like in the day, he's busy. That's the perfect sum up, because you're from point A to B, B to C, C to D, and then back to A, and then start over, and it's nonstop. You're always out. You're always doing something. And I think it's incredible. But what I really want to ask you is what's next. And I know that's the very like generic question that people ask, somebody like, what's next for you in your XYZ career? I think you're a person who's a very broad spectrum guy. So I want to know, I don't care what it is, acting, politics, like becoming a teacher. What do you want to do next?
So I spent a bunch of time developing myself within fitness, and then the past year and a half, I've spent some time working on the modeling thing, now the acting thing. But the next big thing for me is entrepreneurship.
Oh, what you got?
I have a couple of ideas. This has been the one thing that I've always wanted to do, regardless of anything. When I left the corporate world, this is what I wanted to do. So everything that I'm doing right now is going to lead up to that. That's, the final frontier for me. Entrepreneurship, having my own thing, starting something, having like, a baby that I can grow for the rest of my life, 1 or 2 or however many I can start. My first one is Valor Circle Fitness. This is something we talked about
last time,
and I launched it afterwards. So I talked about the app last time, and then I launched it. Worked out well, helped a bunch of people. So at that time I was a personal trainer also, and eventually I couldn't find the time to train people in person. And I didn't want to lose touch with the fitness community, with the fitness world, the industry. So, and I felt like digital is the future of fitness. So that's my first baby. I'm going to keep growing that.
I think it's crazy that you thought of that before COVID hit. Yeah. You launched that before COVID. And then during COVID.
I was testing it before COVID, and then I launched it after COVID.
Right. But you had like thought of the idea.
Yeah. It was very opportunistic later on. Plan ke andar COVID bhi aa gaya.
How did that go, by the way? As in, from an entrepreneurial perspective?
It went well, and it also didn't go so well. And the reasons because of which it didn't go well, I feel like have been great for me, because I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship and starting a business, working on something, growing it. And I feel like the messes that I've made with that are gonna massively help me, one, grow that, obviously, because I know what I fucked up with Valor Circle. Small things that make it hard for me to run. But for the future, I feel like I've learned a bunch of shit that's gonna help me, grow this and then start the next thing and grow that also.
Right. When's your YouTube launching?
Dude, there's like 10 people who ask me this every day.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Yeah.
YouTube,
Put you on the spot,
in terms
bro.
of being a content creator, YouTube is gonna be the thing that everything is gonna lead to. Also, just in terms of that spectrum, YouTube आएगा, YouTube soon आएगा. अभी I'm just about to start another project, hopefully.
Yeah.
तो जब वो खत्म होता है, उसके बाद YouTube का स्टूडियो बनाने का full दिमाग में.
I know, bro. इधर ही है.
cooking show. That's what I want to start with.
On the mic exclusive, you did not know before this.
Bam.
Zarrar Khan cooking show. The
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay of Pakistan.
Gordon Khan.
Good one. I like it.
Gordon Tipu Khan.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know,
just get it out there.
my full name is Zarrar Tipu Khan.
Tipu.
So लोगों को पता नहीं क्यों काफी funny लगता है. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
I love your name, bro. मेरा
Dude, literally जब हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी में हर सेमेस्टर में नए टीचर्स आते थे ना, तो रोल कॉल हो रही होती थी सबका. आखिर में मेरा नाम आता था ज़रार टीपू, और मैं कहता था यस सर मेरा नाम में टीपू आता है.
Glad you found out.
Like get it out. और सारी क्लास ना वेट, बिकॉज LSE में सेकंड थर्ड फोर्थ ईयर आपका सेम सेक्शन होता है, तो एवरीवन बाय लाइक थर्ड ईयर न्यू कि अच्छा ये होगा अब. तो फर्स्ट क्लास में सारे मुझे देख रहे होते थे कि इट्स अबाउट एंड बैम टीपू. So yeah, that's the Tipu story. So yeah, cooking show soon. That's food. I've consumed countless hours
yeah.
of foodtainment.
Whoa.
Either my YouTube is filled with F1 shows, football shows, storytelling shows, random channels that give me extremely random pieces of information about varied topics.
Yeah.
And then the thing that I watch the most is food.
Right.
Food shows.
Damn.
So
Another
I
thing
feel like
is-
my life would be incomplete if I don't have a food venture of
You're
some
a
sort.
damn good chef, and saying that from personal experience. Like, you make a very good burger and very good
I
everything
make
else.
the best burger.
The best
ये मतलब मजाक नहीं है यार.
plug. I got you. You'll find out later. But Kamal, bro. And I think you mentioned the YouTube, obviously acting creates. For those who don't know, Baarwan Khilari is still to release, and the other
Soon, very soon.
other project that you're in also soon to release. Are you allowed to talk about that?
No.
Okay. just keep that in mind. So much on the horizon. I like that you're going towards entrepreneurship. You have a legion of people who love you. You have like 8 fan pages.
I love you.
I love you, yeah. Yeah, bro. Let's go.
ये हमारी डायनामिक है.
I love you, यार.
हम 6 दोस्त हैं जो दिन में एटलीस्ट 10 दफा एक दूसरे को, सारे बॉयज हैं by the way, और सारे एक दूसरे को बस कहते हैं ओए लव यू यार.
Oh, I love you,
I
यार.
love you Salman यार.
Oh, Salman, love you, यार.
If you think toxic masculinity is a thing,
Nah, we broke it.
in our like group setting, it's gone.
Anush, chup kar ja yaar.
Anush है भी नहीं, but Anush, if you're watching this, bro,
Please chup kar ja yaar. Bro, बहुत हाल. This is also an inside
This
joke.
is a 2-1 crew plug.
Bro,
Shout out to Daniel, Salman, Danish all the way in Chicago, Mr. Taimur, and Anush.
I love all of you, yaar. And Mr. Buttocks was here in the studio. I'm glad we put the 2-1 crew. People should know about us that we are a thing, and we're really weird. Don't come close to us ever. Like when we are together, don't do it. Zarrar, I absolutely love you, and I loved having you on the pod. Last segment, you know what it is. If you watch the show, what is it? No,
Plug yourself.
Yeah,
bro.
no,
क्या हो गया? मुझे नहीं
it's
पता.
your segment. It's your moment. It is your whatever you want to say. Get off your chest. Whoever you want to talk to. Whoever you want to shout out. Whatever. It's yours, bro. The floor, everything, airtime. Please, sir, take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Follow me on Instagram. The name is Zarrar Khan with 2 A's and 2 N's. Apart from that, Baarwan Khiladi coming out soon. And yeah, all I want to say is be positive, be good to yourself, be good to everyone around you, conserve water.
Please.
And stop littering.
Please. Especially in Hunza.
हाँ मैं नहीं बात कर रहा
I'm joking.
मैं नहीं कर रहा
Yeah.
Be good to yourself, be good to others, stay motivated, stay good, and take care of your bodies. I'll see you very soon.
You will see him very soon, especially with a new background.
मैं पता नहीं late क्यों paint me like one of your
Please subscribe.
Oh, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to On the Mic.
We're clipping the hell out of that. We're making like a separate thing.
Ek aur. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to subscribe to On the Mic right now. यहाँ पे bell icon है. इसको बस click करें. एक बड़ा red button है. उसके ऊपर subscribe लिखा हुआ है. Press the fuck out of it. Let's go.
Put the thumbs up there as well, and just please leave a nice comment. Be like, this podcast was great or whatever. Thank you, Zarrar, for those clips. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for being you, my friend. I love you.
Thank you for having me,
bro.
Let's go to more wins and all the success.
All the success, bro. Most importantly,
I love you, man.
I love you. We got this, ladies and gentlemen. This has been On the Mic number 30. Number ZK, bro. Number ZK. Zarrar Khan. Thank you so much for tuning in, sitting through if you did throughout the entire podcast. I appreciate you more than you think. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all of that we just mentioned. And please, from me to you, the 3 words that I always say at the end of the podcast, just to make sure that you get it. This time I will be clear with my words, and I'll ask you to please keep it tight. Stay tuned.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.